I got to tell you something. I'm kind of amazed that you're so surprised that they're pissed off by this.
I really am.
You are?
Because they were such big fans of the page.
Who was a fan of the page?
Who was a fan of the page?
You guys all
No,
were.
we were not.
Lisa,
No,
you
we
called
weren't.
me a
face stank bitch when I unfollowed.
This one's...
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and we are here to discuss The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 4, Reunion Part 3. And before we get started, let us all have a round of applause, because not only was that the best part of this reunion, but the way Monica flopped. And to the Monica fans, I have nothing nice to say about her. She's a loser, she's a weirdo and a stalker. And the fact that folks want to stand for somebody who has such crazy, twisted logic is beyond me. There is nothing mother or iconic about her, so I don't know why y'all keep saying that. Yes, we're starting it off, shots fired, and one time for the one time because Miss Monica Garcia left the show, aka she was fired. Oh, you thought it was going to be a little quiet recap, didn't you? But oh no, you thought wrong. I want you to pour up a glass with me and get comfortable, because I got a lot to say. Nice and cold too. Woo! we gonna pour a glass to that though. Cheers, y'all. She's gone. Let me take one more sip. Exactly. But without further ado, let's jump right on into it, because you guys already know that we don't have a minute to spare. So we open up the last part with everybody on a mini break, and it was so funny because Andy says, Meredith, are you upset with me? Because these last 2 hours, you've been giving me the evil eye. So Meredith was like, wait, what? Like, no, I haven't. I'm just fine. I'm not angry. And I said, look, we all know good and damn well that these ladies would never have the audacity to sit up there and mean mug him the whole entire time. Because say what you want, 99.9% of these women do not want to leave this show. So even if they are upset with Andy, they know better than to actually show it. So the break is over, and now Andy says, let's discuss the games that happened this season. So while they're playing the whole montage, Lisa whispers under her breath that Monica acts like she's 12, and then Monica says, oh, okay, Lisa, well, at least it beats acting 55 like you guys. And I said, Miss Girl, you've got to learn some better reads, because those age jabs, they're not giving what you think they're giving. And again, for all the Monica fans out there who keep saying that she's mother and she's iconic, how is she mother when she can't read? And the gag is, while you're trying to read them about their age and how they're just so much older than you, they've accomplished 10 times more than you've accomplished. So say what you want, but they're further along than you are. And they were further along when they were your age. So that's a read right there. Monica, you're out of your league. There's no way to say it. And you're mad about it. That's why you can only resort to you're old and you're ugly, when one, they're not old, and two, they're not ugly. So it's just like, again, sis, you keep falling short. And Lisa hit the nail on the head when she said, Monica, you're not that good at arguing, and you need to be smarter when you argue, because you always say that, and it's just not good. You've really got to stop with that. And Monica sounded like she was 13 years old saying, well, I can say whatever I want. I said, okay, girl. If I were Lisa, I would have paid her dust the rest of the reunion. I wouldn't have had anything to say, because Monica clearly wants Lisa's attention. So now Andy goes on to ask Lisa, when was the last time she did her own makeup? So Lisa says that the last time she did her own makeup was in 2019, and then she says, I get glam every day. No matter where I'm going, I get glam every single day. Once a day, I get nice and made up, and then I'm good. And honestly, it's what I like. I always tell John that when I die, I want to be in glam and draped in diamonds. It's just what I like, okay? And I said, I know that's right, because yeah, I want to go out looking my best too, and draped in diamonds, all right? Like, I get it. So now Mary jumps in and says, Lisa, you do know that that's not normal and that's an insecurity. I said, now, Mary, if I were you, I would keep quiet about what's normal and what's not, because a lot of your behavior is very strange. So not too much. And also, let's talk about how judgmental Mary is when it comes to everybody in this group and their looks. So if Lisa did step out looking less than her best, who do you think would be saying something about it? Mary M. Cosby. And also, if she wants to get glam every day, who is that hurting? Why are folks so pressed? I don't think that that's insecure at all to want to look your best every time you step out the house, because that's how I feel. I'm not leaving my home looking any way. There will be makeup on, the hair will be done. You get what I'm saying? There will be a cute outfit. So I said, Lisa, you and I are right here. And isn't that what we want to see from Housewives? Don't we want to see the extravagance and the opulence and getting glam every day? That fits the bill. And also, Lisa, you don't need to justify it to anybody else when you went on to say, yeah, it's because I can't see well enough to do my own makeup. They would not be getting an explanation from me about that. You're a grown-ass woman. You have the money to do that. You like how you look. You take pride in your appearance. So you don't need to answer to them about why you want to get glam every day. That's your business. Now, I love when Andy gets really shady. He goes on to ask Monica, how long has she been imitating Lisa's voice? So Lisa had me screaming. She said apparently since season 1. And she definitely was. She was staring at that TV crying when the first season came on, talking about, I want to be on that show. I want to be friends with that lady. She was probably sitting up there perfecting her best Lisa Barlow impression. So I believe it, because we know that Monica is a full-blown stalker, and we'll talk more about that later on. But anyhow, Monica gets upset and she says, Lisa, shut up. Your voice is so easy to do. All you say is, Monica, Monica, Monica. And Lisa's like, girl, I barely even talk to you. I said, Miss Lisa and her voice have the girls pressed. Because the fact that you have Monica saying, oh, you think that I'm so obsessed with you and all that? No, I'm not. I said, girl, you are. So since they're on the topic of impersonations, Meredith starts imitating Whitney. Now you have Mary imitating Whitney. But you know who stole the show? Angie K. She imitates Meredith. And I cannot imitate Meredith. I've tried. It doesn't come out right. But the way Angie was spot on when she said the rumors and the nastiness, even Meredith had to laugh. She sounded just like Meredith. I said, come on, girl. Let me find out you could do some voice work or something. And I'ma just say it. I want Angie K back. She really grew on me. I think that she's a fantastic addition. And Miss Mamas has the shade because she was subtly reading Monica the entire time. She's the reader that they say that Monica is. Because I'm sorry, but saying that your Range Rover is under the carport, that had me on the floor. So now Andy reads a viewer question asking Heather, how did she feel watching Mary when Mary was on Watch What Happens Live a few months ago? And she made those body-shaming comments about Heather in that Gucci corset. So Heather says, oh yeah, me and Mary spoke about it, and she told me that that's not what she meant. So now you have Mary saying, yeah, that's not what I meant. I would never body shame Heather. That's not what I meant at all. And also, Heather looks so great today. She shamed me. And then you have Heather eating up the compliment. And I said, now, Mary can have you fooled, but I don't believe it for a minute. And on top of that, Mary, learn how to say corset correctly. I don't know what a corset is. And one thing about Mary is somebody, in my opinion, where she's all bark and no bite. Because when she gets called out about what she says, now she wants to backpedal. Now it's, oh no, that's not me. I'm just little old Christian Mary sitting over here. I didn't mean that. It's like, girl, don't play that. And like I always say, you can't be the villain and the victim at the same time. You have to pick a side. So Andy goes on to ask Mary the last question before he lets her go. And he wants to know, where does Mary see her future in this group, and if she even wants to be in this group? But you have Mary giving this half-baked answer, saying that if the group is open to accepting her and getting to know her, then she'll gladly stay in this group and stay on the show. And then she goes on to say that she doesn't understand why Whitney acts so afraid of her. And I just said, once again, Mary, I'm not buying this whole victim, little old me act. Stop. As rude as you are, And now you want to act like, well, if they'll have me in the group, then I'll stay. You've been so nasty to half of this group. So now you want to blame it on them and act like they're the ones who are in control of your fate in this group? You've made it clear that you don't like pretty much anybody in here. And then for you to play dumb and act like, oh, I don't understand why Whitney is so afraid of me. And even Whitney said, you don't understand why? Like, I've always been afraid of upsetting you and disappointing you because you've been harsh to me when I've messed up. And then Mary saying, when? Like, when was this? And it's like, but Mary, just 15 minutes ago, you said that this woman is a racist and you don't like her. You've called her little girl bobblehead. But now you want to play dumb and act like you don't understand why she's afraid of you and doesn't want to be around you. You can't have it both ways. I'm not somebody who's going to sit up here and make excuses for somebody just because they're black. I'm not doing that. I'm going to call a spade, no matter what the race or ethnicity is of a particular housewife. I get on everybody. It's equal opportunity shade over here. If you act up, I don't care if you're black, white, whatever. Everybody can get it. So Mary now trying to act like she's innocent and can't understand why certain people don't want to be around her. We're not going to play this game. It's not happening. And let me just say this quickly, because in my last recap, I saw quite a few comments saying, oh my gosh, you were calling for Mary to come back and now you switched up on her. Let me just tell you, I am never going to condone bad behavior. And yes, I was fully on board to have Mary back. In the beginning, I thought that she would actually bring something. But when I saw as the episodes progressed that she only got ruder and ruder, I said, shout out to everybody, I have fun.
Oh! Shout out to everybody, I have fun. I gotta be good.
And I'm allowed to change my mind the way everybody else is. So just because I was rooting for her in the beginning doesn't mean that it has to stay that way. In the early beginning, in the first 3 episodes, I was actually liking Monica. I thought that she was actually bringing us a good storyline. And then by episode 4 or 5, things changed. And I say, yeah, there's something not right with that one. But yeah, one thing about me, I have no issue changing my mind. And I have no issue changing up in real life too. If you show your ass and act crazy, I'm out the door. So it is what it is. I don't care. I'm not somebody who will ever be forced in a friendship or relationship that I don't want to be in. I am quick to say, you know, it was cute. I wish you well, and I'm out the door. I'm not staying around for any craziness. So that's just me. Me and my happiness are always going to come first. And I hope that everybody else has that mindset too. But again, I digress. So now Mary's gone and it's time for us to discuss all this mess with Monica and the reality Von Tease drama and the whole Jen Shah drama, everything. And I love the fact that the entirety of this reunion was just focused on that and nothing else. I said, thank God, because we've been waiting for this since the beginning. So Andy starts it off by saying that Monica was found out to be a troll account. And he goes on to ask, Monica, are you reality Von Tease? So here goes Monica already out the gate lying. She says, yes, I'm a part of the account. I said, girl, just own up to it. This account is all you, and you probably recruited people to join you in this mission to take down Jen and everybody else on this show. But I said, if you want to play this game, then let's play it. But Monica continues on by saying that she wasn't the one who started the account or named the account. I said, I don't believe a word. But again, we're going to let her sit up there and lie. So Monica states that the account was created in 2021. And Andy wants to know, was she still working for Jen at this point? Monica says no. And now Andy wants to know, had she already turned over evidence against Jen? And she says no, but she had given a statement. So Andy's like, look, girl, what was the purpose of you creating this page in the first place? Monica says that the whole purpose was to expose the truth about how Jen Shah treated her employees so poorly. Now, for everybody who's defending Monica, like what she did was so noble and so heroic, let me stop you right now. Because that is psychotic to beg somebody to work for them and befriend them, to now turn around and record them secretly and expose them on a burner account. That is psychotic, weirdo, stalker behavior, and there is nobody who can tell me otherwise. You thought that Jen was so awful and so evil, but yet you worked for her for free, I might add, and you were smiling in her face around her 24/7. And I don't care how you try to slice it like, oh, I was doing this for the greater good. You're a weirdo. And you tried to set Jen up because you were jealous of her and you were jealous of her being on that show. And you thought, you know what, let me expose her so that I can get some fame and notoriety and be on this show myself. That's the real reason why you exposed Jen. But don't sit up here and act like you were doing this because you wanted to show the truth of what happened and how she was behind closed doors when you were sitting up there smiling in her face the entire time. So Andy goes on to ask another question about the page trolling the other women. And Monica says, no, that wasn't the point, to troll anybody, and we didn't. So now Heather jumps in and she's like, look, I have the receipts. So she goes on to say how the page was calling her a slur. And I'm not going to say the word. If you guys watched it, you know what Heather said. But she says the slur that she was called. And she's like, Monica, that was you. So she goes on to say that the page was calling her that slur multiple times a day. They were also calling her Shrek and Manatee. And you have Monica denying it. And Heather's like, girl, why are you lying? The posts are still up, by the way. You could tell that Andy was fed up with Monica because at this point, he's like, I'm so confused. Heather says, look, Andy, pull your phone out right now and go on the page and you'll see it for yourself. So he goes on the page, he's asking if it's reality Von Tease too, and Heather says yeah, because the original page got shut down for cyberbullying. So Monica says no, that's not the reason why it got shut down. So Heather's like, oh, it's not? Is it because of the cease and desist that was sent to you? And you have Monica saying that they didn't care about the cease and desist because they had facts. I just said, Monica, if you were smart, you would just quit while you were ahead and just apologize. Because your answers are making no sense and it got progressively worse and you sounded absolutely insane as the reunion went on. So Monica's still trying to act like she's some hero and she says that the page was actually trying to defend Heather and expose how nasty Jen was towards her. So Heather's like, girl, you're not a hero in any of this. And Monica, you using that borrowed read, saying, well, it's okay, Heather, because you're the clown in my story. I said, baby, you got that read from that black TikToker. There's this popular TikTok going around. I'm sure you guys have seen it. And it's this pretty black woman. And she says, I don't mind being the villain in your story because you're the clown in mine. And that's where Monica got that from. I said, girl, let's be original here. And riddle me this. How is Heather the clown, but yeah, you showed up here with stale reads, a burned book that flopped, and it was found out that you were a whole stalker and you had a whole burner page trolling them for 2.5 years. But they're the clowns. So to make matters worse, Andy reads one of the posts from the page and it says something about Heather being a grandma who still thinks that she can get some black D. So Monica's like, no, I didn't say that. And they were like, girl, yes, you did. You posted that. So she's like, well, it was from my phone. And they were like, Monica, what are you saying right now? So you're saying that it was posted from your phone, but you didn't post it? So what are you saying, that somebody had your phone in their hands and they posted it for you? Is that what you're saying? I mean, Monica wasn't even trying to make the lie sound believable. That's how bad it was. At one point, I was getting secondhand embarrassment. So now Lisa jumps in and she says, we were tagged every day in those posts. So Monica says, well, yeah, because we wanted you guys to see that. I'm not denying that. And I said, Monica, again, do you hear yourself? And that's what I'm saying. Monica is not bright. 1 minute it's, oh, I didn't do that, but yeah, I was tagging you in that. But no, it wasn't from me, but yeah, it was from my phone. But no, I didn't start this, but I did say that. Like, you're a liar. Just own it. We would all have more respect for you if you would just be honest and say, you know what, I did it, I was a troll, and I'm sorry. But you still wanted to lie to the bitter end, and it bit you in the ass severely, and now you're off the show, and you have nobody else to blame but yourself. So Heather and Lisa are going back and forth with Monica, and Heather says, you know what, Monica, you don't deserve a platform. And did anybody notice that throughout this last part, Monica kept trying to play the race and the class card when she was like, what do you mean that I don't deserve a platform? That's just so gross to say. I said, we're not going to do that. We are not going to sit up here and do that, sis. Not today, not on my watch. Don't you dare try to act like they're looking down on you because you don't have money. It's not about money. It's about having integrity and character. We're talking about that. So for you to try to spin it like they're trying to suggest that you're inferior to them because you don't have what they have, we're not going to play these games. You're not going to sit up here and act like you're the victim when you caused all the mess. When Monica pulled out that burn book, I fell out. I have never felt secondhand embarrassment this hard. And while I don't like Monique and what she did to Candace, I can still recognize that binder moment gave more than this burn book moment. This was poorly executed. It was a complete flop. It was a bust. It was a letdown. And you look stupid. And then you saying, oh yeah, I have all the receipts in here. And all you had were pictures of everybody on the cast. And it shows your obsession with Lisa because you put the worst picture of her in there. And then I think you said Lisa Barflow. I was just like, how old are you, 5? You wasted, what, $50 at Kinko's or Staples to make this stupid book? And Monica being upset that nobody thought that the burn book was iconic. Andy kept asking her, what was it supposed to prove? And I said, please get her again, Andy, because we're all sitting up here confused too. I had no idea why she did that. So at this point, Andy's not even focused on this stupid burn book. He goes on to ask Monica yet again that what was the point of the page and the fact that she even had this burner account to expose Jen. She ended up hurting everybody else on this cast. So now Heather brings up the whole slur that she was called, and she says, how would you feel if we retweeted every nasty thing that your mom said about you on Twitter? So Monica says, well, my mom's already doing that, so I don't care. And I would not be surprised if Monica has some sort of personality disorder, because when she said, you guys aren't listening to me, and Andy said they are listening, we're all trying to find out what was the whole point of this page. And I said, girl, don't throw a tantrum because they're not letting you skate by with these stupid answers, because this makes no sense. Monica is insane. Her logic is twisted, because on what planet are you upset that they're mad at you for what you did to them? And even Andy said, Monica, I'm just shocked that you're upset and surprised that they're angry at you. So Monica says, yeah, I am surprised at their reaction because they were all fans of the page. Lisa wasn't playing. She said, who? She said, not me, girl. Heather says that the page called her a skank bitch when she unfollowed them. And now you have Monica trying to say that Angie K was in her DMs supporting her. And Angie said, yeah, I thought it was funny, but you know, what are you gonna do about it? That's all it was. Lisa had me standing for her. I don't care how you feel about it, but I was standing. I said, girl, you better ask the hard-hitting questions. Lisa said, based on what you were saying about us, why do you want to be friends with us knowing that you hated us so badly? So now Andy's like, yeah, that's a good question. Monica, were you just trying to get on the show, or did you actually want to be their friends? So now Monica says, well, I think that it was a mix of both. Both things can be true. Heather wasn't having it. She was shaking her head. She's like, no, I don't believe this at all. So now you have Monica raising her voice, and she's like, what's wrong with me plotting to be on this show? I said, language, because why would you say you were plotting to be on this show? Why can't it be, well, you wanted to be on this show, you prayed about being on this show? Saying that you plotted to be on a show, it just sounds very underhanded. It sounds like you were up to no good and that you would have done anything that involved trickery and deceit to get on there. And I feel like your words are very powerful. That's not the word that I would use. I wouldn't have said I plotted to be on TV. That right there shows that her whole mindset is off. And then she pulls that race and class card again when she says, so you guys are saying that I don't deserve to be here because you've been saying that this entire time. Even Andy checked her. He said, that's not what they said. And I said, see, she's trying to make herself out to be the victim, and she's trying to paint it as they're looking down on me because I'm not white and I'm not rich. And that's not what it is. They have disgust and disdain for you because of your character. And also, anytime somebody says, oh, you think that you're better than me, that's out of insecurity. And you need to run from people who say things like that because they think that you're better than them. And that's another reason why Monica does not need to be on this show, because she has heavy inferiority issues and she feels like they're better than her. And that's why it eats her up when she sees them and she's around them, because she feels like she's not enough. And that's not their issue. That's her issue. She needs to work out her feelings of feeling inferior and feeling insecure with a therapist. But don't put that on them. But you can't be around folks who they want to be you. They want your life. They hate themselves. So now they hate you because you don't hate yourself. It's a mess. And that's what it is with Monica. She's very insecure and she's projecting her feelings onto them. Because deep down inside, she feels like she doesn't belong on that couch, hence why she keeps saying that. So Lisa says, there's nothing wrong with you wanting to be on this show, but what is wrong is you plotting against us. That's the crime. If you were so noble with your actions, then why didn't you come clean and tell us in the beginning? And that's all I keep saying. If Monica was really this hero that she's trying to claim, then why didn't she tell them in the first or second episode that she was behind that account? So even Andy co-signs on Lisa's point and he says, yeah, I mean, why didn't you just come clean in the beginning the same way that you came clean about the affair with your brother-in-law? So here's where things get crazier. Lisa starts pressing Monica and she's like, Monica, how did you get all those videos? I know how you got all those videos. The same way you knew about me and my friends going to meet with Snoop Dogg. I know how you got that story because you logged in to Jen and Sharif's security system and you looked at all the footage. So you have Monica saying that it was actually her security camera and how Jen had asked her to get security cameras and put it in her name. Now, I don't believe a word of this. I think that it's a bold-faced lie. And did Monica even have the funds to buy a full-blown security system for somebody else? This story had so many holes in it. I just said, Monica, again, quit while you're ahead because this makes no sense. So now Lisa brings up how that video getting leaked of Jen yelling at her former designer, Koa, it's because Monica leaked that through the security footage. So now you have Monica screaming at Lisa, and again, Monica, where are the reads? Telling Lisa to shut up and choke on a dick? I said, at your big age, like, girl, what? What kind of read is that? You're just upset because Lisa called you out and pulled your card and let it be known that you were a full-blown obsessed weirdo. Monica is giving single white female for real. You were obsessed with Jen and all these women. To go so far to look through her security footage? Like, what is going on? And did anybody hear Monica's logic when she said, you're more mad at me for recording her than for her treating people badly? I said, Monica, this is why you're fired, because you are a complete liability. The fact that you were trying to justify recording somebody in their own home and exposing them with it, this is some true craziness. If you were so upset by Jen, you should have sued her for emotional damages and called it a day. But to expose her and to watch her personal footage of what she was doing in her home, that is crossing a major line. There is no way that you can slice that. And anybody defending Monica's behavior, I'm afraid of you. Because the fact that you're defending this, then Lord knows what you might do. Would you do this to a friend? This was borderline psychotic. Monica could never and would never be around me. So now Andy brings up how Lisa accused Monica of stalking Jen and driving by her home. So of course Monica's denying it. And we see Monica get caught up in her own lies. Heather plays the audio and the video of Monica going around Jen's house a good 4 or 5 times in 2021. And you hear her in the videos and in the audio talking about, oh yeah, that's Jen Shah's house right there. It's that big bougie house, and don't drive so slow because I don't want to catch a charge for stalking or having a restraining order. This woman had a full-blown obsession. And there is nothing iconic about that. And then when Andy pressed her on that, he said, well, what do you consider stalking? And she's sitting up there, look, like, doesn't everybody do that to ex-boyfriends? And I was just like, girl, what? And I love how Lisa read you. She said, girl, you're a single mother to 4 daughters, and you have all this time on your hands to drive by Jen's house morning, noon, and night. And then you have Monica saying, shut the F up. Don't you ever talk about my kids. She wasn't talking about your kids, you idiot. She was saying you're a single mom of 4 children. Focus on them. So now you have Heather jumping in, and she's like, yeah, there were about 20 videos of Monica going by Jen's house. So Andy is perplexed as to why Monica was driving past Jen Shah's house all the time. And Monica says, well, the reason why I was doing that because the FBI told me to check on her to make sure that she wasn't drinking or driving, and she owed us money. So they all said, girl, what? Now, hold on, Monica. I want to ask you another question. You said that you worked for Jen for free, so how does she owe you money if you were working for nothing? I'll wait. I loved how everybody broke out laughing. Angie said, so the FBI called you up? Then you have Whitney saying, so the FBI used you as their mole? Is that what it is? So Monica's like, no, I wasn't an informant. I was just a witness. So they're still confused, like, but girl, I'm just not believing that the FBI called you up to check on Jen. Even Andy states that they had enough evidence against Jen where they did not need Monica's help. And just like a true liar, Monica says, well, I didn't say that they asked me. You just said 2 minutes ago that they asked you to check on Jen. I mean, y'all, I was screaming at the TV so loud just watching this. I couldn't believe it. I said, this girl needs some serious help. Heather gave a good read. She said, we don't need a citizen's arrest from you. When Monica started screaming at Heather when she said that, I said, Monica, you are in no position to scream at anybody. And you're lucky that Heather is nice, because if that were me, I would have torn you up. Because I don't know who the F you think you're screaming at. We just found out that not only are you a weirdo and a liar, but you're a stalker looking at people's security footage and driving past their homes. And you want to yell at me? That would not be happening in this lifetime or the next. I would have said, girl, take that voice down. Take it down a few notches. Heather was high-key carrying this final part of the reunion because the answers that she gave were flawless. Andy goes on to ask, why would they all care that Monica was driving around Jen's house? So Heather says, look, it's the fact that this woman had the capacity to be a fan and beg to be Jen's friend, beg to work for her. She finally gets to work for Jen, and now she infiltrates her life in this group by setting up security cameras and looking at them. That's scary, and I don't want any parts of that. That raises a few red flags. I said, exactly. This woman was smiling in Jen Shah's face, showing all 32 teeth, collecting information to set her up, and then take her spot. Does that scream normal to you? I'll wait. Heather goes on to state that if she'll do that to Jen, she'll do that to everybody else, and she does not want to even take that chance. So now she says Monica thinks that it's iconic to be a bully, and it's not. So now you have Monica getting upset, and she calls them all assholes. I just said, you're the one who wronged me and everybody else sitting here. How dare you call me an asshole because I call you out on your crazy behavior? I would have turned Monica every which way but loose, honestly. Like, I really would have, because how dare you? You're sitting up here putting my life in jeopardy, because if you stalked Jen, then who's to say that you weren't stalking any of us? And now you want to play victim and call me an asshole. Oh, Monica, you would have been worn out. Listen, there's no way to say it. I was so angry. I said, how dare her? She has so much audacity. Then Heather goes on to say that this whole situation has ruined her experience as a housewife. So now you have Monica saying, are you serious, Heather? Are you serious? And listen, I saw folks saying that Heather is being all hypersensitive and being dramatic. If I find out that we have some stalker on the cast, I would be afraid too. I would be wondering, do I want to continue doing this? Because I would not want to have to worry about my safety and my well-being because we have a weirdo on the cast. So yeah, I completely understand why Heather feels like her experience has been ruined. So now Lisa and Heather want to know if Bravo knew about Monica, and Andy reiterates that no, Bravo had no idea that Monica had this troll account. And now Monica says, oh, well, that's not true because when I went in for my first audition, I told production. So Andy says, so you're saying that you told casting that you are reality Von Tease? And she says, yep, I sure did. So Andy says, well, let me clear this up for you. If we had known that you were behind that troll account, we would have never hired you. And she sat there looking so dumb. I said, exactly, because you're a liar. You didn't tell production anything. So now they change gears in the conversation, and Andy brings up the DMs between Meredith and Monica about Angie K. So Miss Meredith made it clear that she had no involvement. She received some DMs about Angie, and that was it. So now you have Monica saying, oh no, Meredith, because remember that we talked about this. And Meredith said, girl, that is not what happened. When we were on the plane coming back from Palm Springs, you were running your mouth about this, that, and the third about Angie. And then all of a sudden I get these DMs saying the same stuff that you were saying. I had no parts in this mess. That was all you. I loved when Angie interjected. She said, may I just say something quickly? Because I'm being accused of being a scammer and a fraud, and that's not the truth. I have a great business, I'm self-made, and I don't like all these allegations. And then she goes on to say that it was reckless and it felt like they were trying to take her down. So Andy's like, well, who do you think was trying to take you down? So she looks over at Meredith and Monica, and Meredith said, look, I wasn't a part of it. I didn't try to take you down, sis. That was all her. And then Angie says, look, it's clear that Monica was using me. She was never my friend because she betrayed me immediately. So now Meredith turns to Monica again and she says, I want to make it clear that I had nothing to do with any of this and I had no evidence. This was all on you. So Angie goes on to say that she and Sean have never filed for bankruptcy and then I think there was only one lien against them during the pandemic. So now you have Monica trying to jump in talking about her business. And Angie was like, girl, you cannot compare your business to my business. You're over there rolling blankets with dog hair in them. And I said, ooh, the shade of it all. So Angie says, bottom line, you came after my marriage and my business. I don't appreciate that. So now you have Monica saying, well, same here. So now Heather jumps in and says, girl, it's not same here because you don't have what we have. And now you have Monica trying to play victim again. She says, how dare you discredit small businesses? And I said, but wait, in the first part, in the uncensored and extended version of the first part, I might add, you admitted that you had to close your business down. So now is don't discredit small businesses? Girl, what business do you have? Because you shut it down. You weren't sending out the blankets that you were supposedly making. You're a fraud. And when Angie said, you're a low-brow rat, and you were like, what did you say? Did you say brown? And even Andy said, girl, don't try it. She said low-brow. She did not say brown. And you have Monica still saying brown? Is that what you meant? You're disgusting. I said, honestly, it would have taken everything in me to restrain myself. Because now you want to play the race card and act like she was saying you're low brown. Stop it. You know good and damn well she said low brow. I was livid. And then when you said, oh, shut up, Angie, you're at the end of the couch. But yeah, Meanwhile, you're in the first chair next to Andy and you got fired. And meanwhile, Angie was at the end and there's a good chance that she's coming back. So now Lisa jumps in to defend Angie and she says, "You're a piece of shit and your apology doesn't mean anything." Now we're at the last part of this reunion and it's time to discuss Heather's black eye from last year. Now we know in the finale that Heather admitted that Jen was the one who did punch her. So Heather says that it was a lot of drinking that night when they were in San Diego, and she knew that Jen had given her the black eye. She just didn't know what happened. So she says the next morning she texted Jen and she made a pact that she would cover for Jen. Andy wants to know, why did Heather cover for her? And Heather says because she was scared and because she had been covering for Jen for 3 years. And that's how you know that Heather's self-esteem was in the garbage. Because there should have been no reason for Heather to feel like she had to cover for somebody who was so awful to her. So now Andy plays some unseen footage of what happened the next day when Heather found out that she got the black eye. Now, mind you, we can't hear what they're saying, but we have Heather narrating what was said. So she says, "That's Jen saying, thank you for letting me borrow this. And did I punch you in the eye?" And Heather says, "Yes, but I'm going to cover for you." Now, Monica, this is how you give an apology. Heather does not miss a beat. She says, first off, "I want to apologize to you, Andy, the network, my cast, and the audience for sitting here and lying about Jen hitting me in the eye." She goes on to add that she had no idea how to navigate this, how it became bigger than herself, and she was just afraid. So now Heather goes on to add that she hid behind what happened to her using humor, and Andy points out that there was nothing funny about it. And then he goes on to add that when the lawyers came in to question her, she obviously freaked out. And she does admit that she was just freaked out and she got even more scared when the lawyers got involved. And I said, now, Heather, I couldn't imagine carrying this kind of weight for all this time. And I mean, the fact that Heather was sitting up here telling all these stories for all this time, because Andy starts reading off the excuses that Heather gave on her book tour, saying that, oh, she probably banged it on a cabinet in the bathroom. Then she said on another book tour that somebody probably broke into the house and punched her in the middle of the night, and that's how it happened. And I loved how Andy held her feet to the fire. He went on to say it's not funny to throw things out there about production hitting you because that puts their jobs at risk. And Heather says, I know, I'm sorry. And again, Monica, this is how you apologize. Heather made no excuses. She made it clear that what she did was wrong and it was stupid. And I loved how she admitted that the social media backlash, because we all knew that she was lying. I even said, Heather, this story is not adding up. We saw right through the BS. It was clear that she was hiding something and not telling us the full story. So now Heather goes on to say that she was the victim and she did not have the mental capacity to tell on Jen. Jen truly found some suckers, because there's no way in hell that if she pulled this with another group of women, that they would have fell for this. Because I can assure you that had Jen tried to punch somebody and have them cover it up for her, she would have had teeth missing and it would have gone a completely different way. So the fact that she had Heather so afraid to tell the truth, that's really insane how much control Jen had. Now, I was not surprised to hear that Jen didn't even thank Heather for covering up for her. And I said, see, it's stuff like that that would have had me going off and exposing Jen. Because there's no way I cover for you and now you're going to sit up there and not even thank me. And then when Andy went on to ask Heather, did they ever talk about it? And Heather said, yeah, we did talk about it. And she always said, hey, as long as production doesn't have footage, we're going to keep lying and keep saying that I didn't do it. I was like, damn. I said, Heather, you really risked your job on this show to cover for Jen Shah, a criminal? Jen would have been blasted the minute that she touched my eye. Let's be clear. But Heather says that what happened in Bermuda with her finding out that Monica was behind this troll account. She said that it felt familiar to what happened with her and Jen, and she decided, I can't live like this. I'm not going to go through this again, and that's why she came clean. So now Andy turns his attention to Monica, and he asks Monica, what does she think after hearing Heather's explanation? So of course Monica's trying to play the victim, and she's trying to sound so sweet and sincere, and she says, honestly, it was hard listening to that, and I know that Heather hates me, but we can't deny that we share a lot when it comes to Jen and what she would do behind closed doors. So now Lisa jumps in and she's like, well, what about me? And Monica's like, did she hit you? And Lisa's like, well, she threatened to hit me on the van. But now Monica reveals that Jen Shah was abusive to her as well, and she dealt with it by telling versus keeping it inside. Now, this might sound harsh, but it's my opinion, and I have to be honest. I don't believe one word coming out of Monica's mouth. Because if I'm not mistaken, this whole entire season, Monica was always talking about how she has no fear when it comes to fighting people, how she's fought people in grocery stores and Five Below and parking lots and laundromats, and, you know, she'll beat somebody's ass. Because she was threatening Lisa Barlow at Whitney's jewelry event, wasn't she? So I'm finding it hard to believe that Jen Shah was putting hands on Monica. Because Monica, again, has made it clear that she's a fighter. And the fact that you have Monica out here stalking people and running troll accounts, I just don't believe that Monica is some weakling now who was just so afraid of Jen. I don't believe it. I think that Monica was just saying that to get sympathy. But I don't believe for 1 minute that Jen ever put her hands on Monica. I don't. Because one, we know that Monica likes to sue folks. So had Jen touched her, she would have had Jen hemmed up in court to get some money out of her. Because we know how Monica operates. So again, I wasn't buying the whole thing of, oh yeah, you know, she hit me too. I said, okay, girl. And when was this? Again, I might be harsh. That might sound mean, but I have to be honest. But you have Lisa giving her opinion about how broken Heather was last year and how it wasn't right for Heather to put people's jobs at risk by lying to cover up for Jen. And then you have Meredith saying that she feels sorry for Heather and she has grace because of what happened. And now you have Whitney go over to hug Heather. Now again, I felt like Heather knew that she had to come clean and bare her soul, because Andy was not pleased at her lying all this time and putting people's jobs at risk. And I thought that she gave a heartfelt apology, and she gave us another Emmy-winning performance, because Miss Mamas carried this last part on her back. And Monica, had you come in with a sincere apology, you might have fared a bit better. Because when Andy asked everybody, do you guys think that there's grace for Monica? And everybody said no. Because you couldn't put your pride and your ego to the side. You wanted to double down on what you did, and look where it got you. Nobody wants to move forward with you. Nobody wants to make peace with you. Nobody wants to forgive you. They're done. And everybody said that I was wrong. Oh no, Monica's coming back. They need her. And Andy doesn't care if they don't film with her. He's going to force them to film. Apparently he didn't, because she's gone. And rightfully so. You don't get to be some crazed stalker, weirdo fan, and then think that they all have to just forgive you and film with you the next season. That's not how this works. So it's the final few minutes, and Andy's asking Monica if there's anything else that she wants to say. And she's just like, no, I'm good. And it was at this point where Monica knew that she would not be coming back and that she had lost her job. Because did you see how deflated she looked? Because it was clear that she had completely effed up. But that's what I'm saying. When you sit up there and you do wrong and you can't even admit it, you can't even be woman enough to say, you know what, y'all, I messed up. I was completely out of line for that. She doubled down at every turn, and it bit her in the ass, and now she's off the show. But now it's time for them to toast with some dark and stormies. And did you guys notice when they had their drinks, nobody clinked glasses with Monica? And I wouldn't either. I'm not toasting with this weirdo. Absolutely not.
No.
And y'all, we are done with Salt Lake City. Woo! This was a journey. This was a ride. Salt Lake City, y'all did that. And for everybody saying, oh, well, Monica was the best thing to this show, there's a difference between good TV and somebody being so desperate where they will do anything. And that includes deceit and trickery to get on. And when you have people with no morals, no character, it ruins the show. I don't want to see somebody where I'm worried for the other cast member's safety. Monica is a walking red flag. She's a liability. And I think that Monica needs to get some help, do some soul searching, stop being so jealous, stop being so insecure. And maybe she can be equipped to be back on a TV show again. But yeah, I'm glad that Monica is gone. And I'm so happy that they gave us an amazing third part because I was fully entertained. But Monica, you were exposed as the liar and the crazed weirdo that you are. And you have nobody to blame but yourself, Miss Mamas. So for all the folks who are gassing you up saying, oh yeah, you're the star of the show and you're going to be back, God bless. But guys, that was my recap. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all so much for watching. And you already know what to do. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all later. Bye.